Today I've come to our nation's capital to fix a broken clock in a giant tower at an all-boys prep school named for the patron saint of pandemics. There's a sentence I never thought I'd say. My guide today is a clock caretaker, James Andrew.
Don't eat the lead paint chips.
This looks totally up to code. Back in the old days, before everybody had a smartphone, this clock kept time for the entire neighborhood. Everybody within earshot relied on its chimes, which rang every 15 minutes.
So this is the clock.
Oh, wow.
We have the quarter strike right here. We've got the hour strike right here and the time side right here.
And the clock face itself is up another couple stories.
Yeah. This does control the clock up top. So transmission rod goes all the way up 4 or 5 stories. We're gonna take some of these pieces apart, clean them off with rags, and then oil them back nice and pretty again. And then we got this cable right here, broke. After a couple years, these cables.
Here's your problem.
That's my problem, that's why the clock doesn't work.
This mechanism is big. So big, it takes up most of this room. I'll take orders from the far side and hopefully meet James somewhere in the middle.
Then go ahead and pull the that small gear off.
This guy.
Go.
All right.
And then pull the fan off.
Put that there. Not there.
What are you doing to our clock, James?
We're taking it apart.
And just like that, a little divine intervention. Father, what's your name?
Steve Planning. Prior to James, I used to try and maintain this magnificent clock. Have you climbed to the top already?
I haven't.
We're about to find out if he's afraid of heights.
All right.
It's not, I'm good with heights, it's widths. It doesn't matter how high you are. If you've got good width, then you can walk around. But if you got very,
Right.
That's my grandfather used to say, it's not the heights, Mike, it's the widths.
You know, they also say, it's not the fall that'll kill you, it's the immediate
Sudden
stop.
stop.
And they also say it's not the itching, it's the chafing. And it is. There are literally hundreds of little clock parts holding this mechanism together. How do they all work together to keep time?
The way a clock works is once you wind it, all the gears want to spin out of control and just lose all the energy they have stored.
Right.
So what you want is the energy to dissipate from the clock at a constant rate. What does that is an escapement. Well, what's going to regulate the escapement? Well, the pendulum does, because the miraculous properties of a pendulum is it always swings at the same rate regardless of the distance traveled.
Why?
It's physics. It was Galileo who discovered this. And he was bored in church, imagine that, bored in church.
Mind wanders.
And there's a sanctuary lamp hanging from the ceiling, and somebody bumped it. And the lamp started swinging back and forth, and using his pulse, he timed it. And he realized that no matter how far the lamp swung, it always took the same amount of time to get from point A to point B. And he said, oh my goodness, this is a constant.
And he arrives at one of the great principles
One
of
of the
physics.
great principles of physics.
And then we burned him at the stake again. Why?
You know, I don't know. It was
Something about the solar system?
people were unreasonable back then. They're not unreasonable
Oh, yeah,
now.
we're surrounded by reasonable people. Yeah. Great. What is it about the Jesuits, Father, and their approach to learning that is singular?
Our educational approach is something called cura personalis, which is care of the whole person.
Let's get this guy off.
This guy?
Yeah.
All right.
St. Ignatius Loyola, who founded the Jesuits, kind of believed you couldn't educate a kid if the kid was hungry or if the kid was emotionally distressed. You had to be a well-cared-for person in order to have kind of the ability to focus on learning.
What's the Latin again?
Cura personalis, care of the whole, it's care of the person or care of the whole person. So,
Cara personalis. So I think it applies, too, to care of the machine. Cara machinialis.
yeah.
Removing, cleaning, and reinstalling these delicate old clock parts is an important part of proper maintenance. Oh,
Oh, you gotta hold on to it.
well, you didn't tell me that now, did you? Cleaning out any accumulated grit will keep the clock running on time and extend its life. Wipe off the shaft. So I got my guy in.
Show off.
A little wiping here, a little tightening there. This job is almost meditative in its process, almost soothing in its precision. Almost.
Now, if you've successfully cleaned my shaft.
I'll take care of the jokes, James.
Got it. Oh, wait, hang on a second. Before we do this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's really dangerous. Put that back real quick.
Put what back?
The bolts. We forgot to take the pressure off. And you can lose a finger.
Good catch.
Not bad. Okay, we're gonna try and get this guy off.
This, okay, or something. Why does all this, it looks like it's snowing in here.
Exactly. It's asbestos.
Great.
All right, I'm gonna try and lift up on this guy.
What do you want to do with this? You handed me this.
Put
so
it somewhere safe. Probably not there. Let's just get done.
You're gonna lift that up, I'm gonna slide this out.
Yep, hang on a second.
There we go. You good?
Yeah.
Your finger in there?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
That just pulled out a little easy. Let's try and put this guy back in.
That guy would be this guy right
Yeah,
here.
I'm gonna try and lift.
All right, now hold on, let me find the right, I'm gonna get it.
No, no.
This?
No, this one. We want to put this one back in place.
That one?
Yes.
Oh, then, hold on, that's not that one. That one's this one.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. See, there you go.
Okay, now, let's be very... What we're gonna do is we'll let this guy down this way. So, you're gonna go over there to the pendulum. I'll tell you what to do.
All right.
Grab the shaft by your head. Hold on to that.
Yeah.
And then you see the two black parts coming down? Yeah, those two. What
Yeah.
you're gonna do is you're gonna put your fingers in between them and push them outwards. But you have to hold on to the shaft.
But that thing's spinning. That's very close to my fingers. Would that take my fingers off?
You're okay.
Like this?
Yeah, so you just hold it like that, and then if you want to stop it, you just squeeze onto the shaft to slow it down until you want to brake. Yeah, because you don't want to let those things come in on themselves, otherwise it could break.
We're lowering the weight that powers the clock by letting this mechanism spin freely. We just let it go until it stops?
Let it go until it stops.
This is a necessary step in order to replace the broken cable we saw earlier. More on that in a second. Or a minute, if you prefer. So that's the weight, just pulling this down and spinning this,
Yep.
whatever this is. It's like a flywheel.
Yep.
All right, I'm guessing the weight has...
And there we go. Now we're safe.
Now we're safe, okay. This is like being inside an escalator. I'm waiting for everything to just come on. Every gear needs to be greased. There are lots of gears.
So just like 2 or 3 drops type of situation. Don't go to town on it. We'll oil it and then we'll wipe off any excess.
What's worse, too much or not enough?
Not enough.
Yeah. As Galileo once said, too much lube causes problems. Too little lube causes failure. Or maybe that was Goldilocks.
Do we know how many wines we're gonna do in this?
Probably 5 or 6.
This is John. He works with James. He's not a disciple. He's the cable guy.
So what I'll do is, if you could just feed me the cable.
Yeah. So are we going to attach it to what's still there?
There's actually a hole in this drum that the cable will be put through.
This is the cable that drives the system that winds the clock.
Don't do this too well, James will get rid of me.
Don't worry, man. Your job is safe. Number 5.
Okay, so technically we've got 5 good windings. All right, I think we look pretty good here.
Now you gotta cut it.
Why do I feel like there's going to be a fair amount of sparks coming at me?
It worked, didn't it?
Your pants get on fire, my goodness.
Yes, there's a lot of activity down there, Father. A lot of activity. With the winding cable back in working order and all the necessary maintenance complete, the clock should be back in working order. Fingers crossed.
Mike, do you want to wind the clock?
That's why I'm here, Father.
All right.
Pressing both, and there it is.
There you go. So it's
All right.
wound. That pendulum, if we want to get that moving, that we can kick that into gear, can't we?
Yeah. Mike, gotta crawl right back through?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Push it to the left or the right, gently,
Gently.
until you hear it click.
You think the left or the right?
Go with the left. Oh wait, let me.
My left, your left. Well, it's the same
go
one.
right.
I'm going. What? Right?
Go to the right. Yeah, go to the right.
right.
Definitely to the right, because it'll click.
Do these pants make my butt look big? Honestly.
Don't worry. Push the pendulum toward the right.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. All right, that's it.
That's it.
So now you're seeing the escapement in action.
Uh-huh.
And as long as the pendulum remains swinging, those three prongs will rotate at a constant rate.
So this is going back to that moment in a church when
Exactly.
Galileo
Exactly.
saw the lamp swinging,
Swinging.
the chandelier, took his pulse, and concluded
Right.
that he was witnessing a constant, and therefore some version of order could
Exactly.
be built around this constant in nature.
The whole goal in timekeeping was always to find a constant. If you could find a constant, then you could take that constant and spread it out over 24 hours, divide it up into segments, and you could tell time.
You want to climb some stairs?
Thought you'd never ask. So we're going up. We're going up to do things all the way up to the very top. It's going to be very exciting. You should come. And now for another edition of It's About Time with Father Planning, already in progress. When did railroad time come? I mean, that was a big thing, wasn't it?
Yes. Every town in the United States, for example, kept its own time. So
every town?
every town, super confusing.
So this is early 1800s.
This is later 1800s when the trains come about. So then a guy named Charles Dowd convinces Congress, he says, you know, we've got to divide the country up into time zones. And so he convinced Congress that they would finally adopt the 4 time zones that we now have. And it was in the 1880s that one day in noon, Congress proclaimed that suddenly it's now these 4 time zones. People went bonkers, said the world's coming to an end, because all these farmers knew that it wasn't actually noon in their part of the world.
Right.
But people got adjusted to it, and it made travel, tolerable.
Can you imagine wooden stairs?
That'd be exciting.
So this is where the clock was originally
Yeah.
placed, right here. So
The whole mechanism,
the
everything
whole
was on
mechanism
here.
right here.
These were the types of ladders?
Yeah.
You're coming up? That's great. Good.
Almost there.
Through this?
Yep.
How high are we? 100?
100.
Yeah. It's 10 stories probably. What exactly are we doing here?
We gotta inspect the clock faces. Make sure no nuts and bolts have come off.
So are we rappelling down from here?
No, we're climbing up from the bottom.
Why wouldn't we just rappel down from here?
It's very difficult to climb back up onto a ledge with all your tools and stuff.
So you're going to ascend on ropes
Yeah.
and then rappel back down.
Yes.
All right. So the clock face is right
Right below us.
below us.
Yeah.
This goes over.
You throw it that way.
Awesome.
Did that white rope reach all the way down?
Nope.
Is that good?
No.
Shouldn't have gone all the way down?
Yeah. Rope's too short.
That rope's too short.
Yeah.
My rope's too short.
Yeah.
Danger is a funny thing, especially on a show like this. You have to be willing to assume a certain amount of risk, otherwise you won't have a show. On the other hand, there's no extra credit for taking chances you don't have to take. But this is safe-ish, right?
Sure.
Not exactly a ringing endorsement. It's enough to make a fellow wonder, as John Donne did those many years ago, for whom the bell tolls.
That's it.
Was that a sign? A little more of that divine intervention, perhaps?
And now we go back down to climb up.
So we go down, then we
go
come
down.
up. Then we go back down.
Yep.
On Dirty Jobs, as in life, our time on Earth is defined by a series of judgment calls. Sometimes you have to listen to your gut. Sometimes you have to ignore it. Which time is this? I don't know about this one. Honestly. Obviously, we can't ascend from the ground if the ropes are too short. So we move to the opposite side, where the crew takes a position on an adjacent roof, about 2/3 of the way up the tower. This should make the climb a lot easier for me and James, but now the wind has picked up and we don't have the proper safety gear, and I'm pretty sure this infernal bell is trying to tell me something.
Now you're good. You just have to step. Fine. And there we go.
We're good, we're good.
Ready to give it the old-fashioned college try?
I feel like I'm standing in a bowl of spaghetti. Yeah, maybe I should watch you go up. Let me see the technique in action. Maybe the bell is trying to tell Zach something too. He and Taylor are not supposed to be 100 feet in the air, standing on the roof of a church that looks an awful lot like a giant sliding board, with no safety lines and no way to stop themselves from plummeting to the earth should they begin to slide downwards. Nothing about this feels quite right. And as much as I hate to throw the flag...
Hey, wait. I know you're climbing.
Are you worried?
No, you don't have a helmet on. Taylor's not tied off, and I'm serious. Like,
All right, look, if you're not comfortable, it's all right.
well, it's on me if something happens, and I don't feel like.
It'd be kind of on me too. It's windy, and you're right.
I know it wouldn't be a good idea, so I'm gonna call it. I have to. So.
Well, would you look at that? Saved by the bell. Honestly, you're right. Wind, helmet, gloves. I don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes, all things considered, it's better to take the stairs and live to fight another day. As for James, he's still got work to do. Hey. What time is it?
Time to get down. We installed these about 10 years ago. We put chemical anchors into the wall and then put these bolts with the acorn nuts on. I just wanted to make sure all the acorn nuts were still nice and tight.
You got a dangerous job.
I enjoy it. There we go.
You good?
Yep.
All right.
See ya.
Well, there he goes. That's James, cleaner of clocks. And so the clock runs out on 2 more jobs, neither for the faint of heart. From the tight quarters of an aging manhole to the cramped interior of an aging timepiece, we see once again what it takes to maintain America's infrastructure, as we're reminded that time waits for no man and that spending it wisely is maybe our greatest challenge here on this delightfully dirty planet we call home.